Hello, Amazon. I'm just setting my camera up and getting ready for you guys. All right, if you have been waiting for me to do this live, it's been a couple of days in the making because I wanted to do a dry run and make sure everything was good. So just let me set myself up here. All right. I'm going to assume that you guys can hear me. Is my connection okay? Okay, my name is Jen. I am the Mindful Shopper and I own a wellness company and I teach online cooking classes as a part of that company sometimes. And I had a brand reach out to me called LINKchef, which is our hero item of today's show. So let's just quickly talk about what the intention behind this live is so that you can get excited. I'm going to talk to you about this specific blender. It is an Immersion blender and it's a 7-in-1. I'm going to show you how to use all of the components, but what's even cooler is I'm going to make muffins with the topping on top of it using just about every component so that you can see me do it live. The muffins are very delicious. I happen to be celiac and I'm very mindful about what I eat in terms of calories and health and all that stuff. So I'm going to talk you through all of the things that I love about food and about cooking to make your life easy and fun so that you can enjoy and maybe make them yourself as well. And we're going to talk about other Amazon products that we use in the kitchen also. So, I started doing all of this because I was teaching online cooking classes and I always recommend to people what it is that I'm using. So let's just talk about this item first. So the reason I said yes to trying this item from the brand is number one, because it's multi-purpose. So if you're one of those people who's always buying new things from the kitchen, it can start to take up a lot of space and I've got a pretty small kitchen. So I wanted to make sure that I'm not cluttering my kitchen using anything that I wouldn't regularly use. And so I'm really happy with this. Like I said, I've done a dry run, but let's just talk about the components first, just in case you don't have time to watch the whole cooking show. So I'll set the box here to the side. So of course, happy Black Friday shopping. I hope that you find lots of amazing stuff. There is a highlight here on the LINKchef item and it is on sale. So how exciting is that? Let's talk about what's inside. So it's a chopper and a blender of sorts. This is how it's intended to be stored in your kitchen. Now it's vertical. I think I'll prefer to store it in more of a lengthwise position just because of the nature of the cupboards that I have. But I'm going to quickly go over all the elements that you can see inside. The main component is this motorized piece here. It's about medium weight. This is intended to be used at home and not at a coffee shop. Let's say if you owned a coffee shop and you were making things all the time. And everything just really attaches to here, and then you just change in and out all the different pieces according to what it is that you're trying to make, and you're going to get a chance to see me do that. So think about what we're doing. We're making muffins. I'm going to chop up some fruits, make the muffins, and then make the topping. They're so delicious too, so if you like muffins, then for sure stick with me. There is this tiny little spinning thing here that you attach to the top. Here, let me put it all together for you. So this is called an emulsifier, and what it does is it froths milk. So if you think about what is this blender really for, you can think about chopping veggies, chopping fruit. You can make iced coffees or fancy coffees or smoothies or maybe a small soup. Now you might have something like a Cuisinart, which is a sort of a larger sized item for your kitchen, which is a great piece of machinery or a small kitchen appliance to have as well, but they tend to be larger in size. So sometimes we just want to do stuff that's small. And again, if you've got a small kitchen, maybe you don't have the space for it. So on the very top of this, actually, let me do the main one first. So it's a hand blender. You see the bottom of it? And you just put it on the top and click it in. You can hear it click, and I'll show you guys the sound. Okay. There is a pause, and then there's a start and stop. And then on the top, it does have a dial for speed, so you have some control. I have it plugged in. It just plugs into a regular outlet, but I'm using an extension cord today just so I can do the video for you guys. And thanks so much for joining. I love having you here. Please ask me questions as we go along. It can be a personal question or it can be a cooking question. I'm happy to answer both. All right, let's keep going. So it comes with this little nozzle that goes on top, which you also screw in, which allows you to attach some of these other pieces. So we talked about this one here. I am going to use this today. We're going to froth coconut milk to make a whipped cream. So if you're thinking about going into the holiday season and you don't want to use true whipped cream because it can be a little bit high in calories or even a little bit heavy, I'm going to show you sort of a healthy way to do it, and it's super, super easy. So stick around for that. And this is how it spins. Just be nice and careful. Make sure everything stopped spinning before you put in the next piece. This is just a standard whisk. You can think about beating an egg, and again, this is how it spins. I feel like for the price, the quality is really excellent. I wouldn't be expecting anything more. It does come with a beaker. So we're gonna put an egg inside of here today with some milk and some vanilla, and we're gonna make up part of the muffin mixture in here. It is plastic. It does have measurements on the side of it, which is just handy. I've got another measuring cup here too that I'll use for the recipe. They say that everything can go in the dishwasher, obviously less the motorized piece. I tend to take very good care of my things because I want them to last a long time. And again, the whole idea being mindful with money, right? I think that if you wash it by hand, it'll last a little longer, but it's totally your choice, okay? So we'll leave it up to you. It does have the ability to go through the heat in the dishwasher. I keep calling this top section here, see it's got two little wings on it. It's like a hat on top of the chopper, and this is intended for storage and for nothing else. So it's the way that I had it set up there originally. I'm not gonna use that likely myself, but it was good to show you guys today. I think this is my most excited portion of the machine. So number one, I love the quality, but look how cute it is. So it's 1 liter. This is plastic, this is plastic. The lid comes off easily, but everything has a tiny lock. So you guys can easily hear it click, and I cleaned it out so quickly the other day. It comes with 2 separate blades. Again, I've used both of them. We're gonna use this standard blade today. They're called an S blade. Please be careful, it's sharp like you would expect it to be. It just simply goes on a post on the bottom, and the post is made out of metal. The top of this blade is made out of plastic. It comes with a second blade that goes on exactly the same, only this one looks a bit more like a stair. And you see that next to my black top? This is for crushing ice. Maybe you want to think about chopping something that's a stronger vegetable like a beet. I love to make juice and things of that nature as well. So that's the other component. And I think that's it, guys. Those are all the pieces. So it definitely fits back in the box if you're one of those people who wants to just store things in the box because you think it's not something you're going to use all the time. But let's get to the good stuff. Now remember, please forgive me, I am doing this live. I've been an Amazon influencer for about 1.5 years or maybe 2 years, but I've only gotten into doing lives lately. So you're getting the natural version of Jen. You guys can call me Jen. I'd love to have your comments. And I wrote a few notes down here for myself so that we can do it all at the same time. All right, you ready? I'm pretty excited to show you guys this recipe. If you think about going over to somebody's house or even having something around your home that is yummy and delicious, but it's sweet, but it doesn't have a lot of calories, this is a great option. You might think about making cupcakes for someone's house, but what about the idea of making muffins? I'm gonna say the consistency of this muffin is in between a regular muffin and angel food cake. So I did a batch ahead of time just so I can get you guys excited. If you weren't here at the beginning, I am celiac, which means that I have to eat everything gluten-free, and I'm serious. I've got 16 years of being celiac, so I really, really know my stuff. And at the beginning, it's so sad when you can't eat all the things that you love. And sometimes when you buy gluten-free stuff, it falls apart in your hand, and it's full of tons of, we'll call it junk, sugar and stuff that your body does not need. And oftentimes it really doesn't taste very good, but there's so many amazing products on the market now. And I'm gonna show you guys as we go through here, okay, how you can purchase them also through Amazon. All right, so this is the muffin that we are going to create together. It's a pretty nice, heavy sized or larger sized muffin. And this is how soft it is. Okay, so it's got lots of softness. I'm going to cut it open for you guys, show you with the whipped cream, and we're just gonna make 4 jumbo-sized muffins together. You're hungry. We're coming right up around dinner time. It's about 5 o'clock here, my time, or 4 o'clock here, my time. Okay, where will we start first? This is just a very simple Pyrex dish. This is a set of 3. I do have the set of 3. I'll let you know if I've highlighted something here that's similar to what I own or if it's exact. I have had these bowls for ages. This is the smallest one of all of them, and it's a perfect size for doing what we are right now. Tell me, do you ever feel like you're going to cook something in the kitchen and you think to yourself, oh, it's just gonna take so long? These are so fast. So let's get started. The first thing we're gonna start off with is gluten-free baking powder. I don't think I have all these things here in the right order. It's all-purpose flour. All right, if you are a gluten-free baker, Bob's Red Mill, you need to know the brand. They do absolutely everything. It's 100% gluten-free, so you're safe and you don't need to worry. If you are cooking for somebody else, it's also a really great brand to know. This one that I'm highlighting for you, see it says 1-to-1. There is a product that's called xanthan gum. Now I'm not gonna use xanthan gum today. It's what binds everything together. When you eat something that's gluten-free and it falls apart on you, it ends up holding it together. So it's a magical product to have, but this brand has put the multi-flour with the xanthan gum inside. So it's taken out a step for you. So the first thing we're gonna do for our beautiful strawberry, sugar-free, gluten-free muffins, believe me, they are delicious, is we're just gonna use 1 simple cup of this flour. And I'm holding up, I guess it would be good to have a partner in my kitchen that would help me highlight everything for you guys. These are Hudson Essentials measuring cups, and they're made out of stainless steel. I throw them in the dishwasher all the time. Again, a really great purchase. And Black Friday, so excited for all the sales. I have a big list of stuff I need to buy too. I was happy to put a lot of things on here that are on sale for you guys, so check them out if you want. All right, so these Hudson ones, just to give you a little bit more about this product as well, is it does tell you whether it's a cup or how many milliliters, but it also has measurements on the side if you don't have the exact one of what you want, which I also think is really helpful. All right, product number 2, we are going to do a 1/2 cup of sugar. I'm gonna talk to you guys a little bit about this product too because I'm pretty excited about it. If you're just joining, I wanna say thank you so much for giving me your time. I'm sure there's lots of things for you guys to look at on Amazon today. This is one of my very favorite products, and I discovered it about 1.5 years ago because of my sister. And everybody's always talking about how bad sugar is for you, and every time you use something like stevia in something like a muffin, it's challenging because when you measure it out, it's not the same size measuring as a regular, it's not like a 1-to-1 in size and in volume. So when you measure this out, and we're gonna use 1/4 of a cup of sugar, it measures out exactly like regular granular sugar, which is incredible. It also comes with an icing sugar version. And this bag, while it might be a little bit more expensive than a regular bag of sugar, it lasts forever. So I'm gonna put that in and I'm gonna tell you about it. Would you believe me if I told you that this has 0 calories in it? And it really does taste good. Some of those sweeteners have a funny taste in it, but I'd highly, highly recommend that you give this one a try. It's always nice to eat something that's delicious and you don't have to feel guilty about eating it. Okay, I'm gonna set that aside. What's our next one? We have baking powder. I took out the wrong one. I have the baking soda on my fridge. See, I've got the xanthan gum too. I really do a lot of this stuff here. Let's take out, so it's baking powder that we want to use. Now, if you are one of those people who love someone in their life who is gluten-free or celiac and you made something for them and they still got sick, this might be something that you can consider. So even baking soda and baking powder can have gluten in it because a lot of these items are made in factories where they're making other products that also have flour in them, and think about how dusty and fluffy it gets into the air. It can cross-contaminate. So again, I'm gonna say that I really love the Bob Red Mill, and this is a massive bag and it will last you forever. So we are going to take 1 teaspoon of baking powder and add it into our mixture. Let's see if I can show you guys this one. I have a feeling that it only gave me an option for multiples. So of course you can go to the link that I'm showing you here, or you can go and have a poke around yourself and just find a better one where you just, we just need to buy 1 bag, but that was the best I could do on the fly here. Okay, a couple of basic things that you need for the kitchen is you need to have a spatula, a silicone spatula, just something really simple. This is not exactly the one that I have in my hand, but it's really, really close, and I thought the price was pretty sweet. It's also a Black Friday deal. I'm just gonna give this a rough mix so that it's all here. And we're gonna make 3 mixtures together. Send me a little hi, guys, if you're, let me know you're here. Tell me maybe where you're from. Tell me if you're celiac. Okay, Okay, let's use the blender here too. I could have just done it with the blender, but I want to make sure that I had a chance, excuse me, to use all the items. All right, so this is our hand blender. This is the spinner on the top. Hopefully you guys can see my bowl here. And you can just put it inside and you can just blend it. You can hold it right down in the mixture. You can also use this with wet and put it into here as well. I'm being a little bit redundant. Muffins are one of those things that you don't need to mix that much. It can be pretty rough. You don't need too many fancy pieces of machinery, but I just wanted to show you how it all works so that if you decide to buy this super cool LINKchef 7-in-1 immersion blender, that you know what it is that you're getting. All right, this is my favorite part. Okay, we've got a chopper. And I'm going to use the S blade if you were watching at the beginning. It's pretty tiny. If you were just catching our show right now in the middle, this does hold 1 liter, but you can only fill it with half in order for it to spin. So remember that, and also remember to put the blade in your chopper before you put the stuff inside, because there's no way you're going to get your stuff inside or your blade inside afterwards. All right, our next mission is we are going to create some strawberries. We're gonna do approximately 1/3 or 3/4 of a cup. All right, I'm gonna catch my breath here. I am a firm believer that being in the kitchen should be fun. It shouldn't feel really intense. You should feel excited about the food that you're gonna eat. One of the things I do, and I recommend for all of the people who do cooking classes with me online, is bring everything out of your fridge and out of your cupboards in front of you so it's handy and it feels fun. If you've got little chefs at home or somebody that you wanna cook with to have some fun, it's just easier if it's all out. And muffins is a great way to start baking because you don't need to be perfect. You can really, really muck up the recipe and they'll still be delicious. It's just one of those kind of fantastic foods that way. It's also small enough that even a beginner gluten-free cook can make them nice and fluffy like I showed you earlier. All right, so these are my strawberries. I am actually Canadian and I live in Toronto. These cooking classes I'm talking to you guys about, I teach them virtually. And why did I want to mention it to you? So we have local strawberries that were in the grocery store and I thought, oh, how lucky is that? So let's do the local strawberries. They're really tiny as opposed to the bigger ones. And I wanted to show you guys this knife. When I first started doing cooking classes, if you guys like this show, please subscribe to my channel and you can go back and watch some other videos. There's a few other food ones. When I first started cooking on Amazon, I thought to myself, oh, I want to be able to talk about all the different items that I use in the kitchen, and I purchased this knife. It's by a brand called Xylus. If you were moving into a brand new apartment or brand new home, and maybe you've got someone small in your house that's moving out for university for the first time, and you only have so much money to spend, there's some basic items that you need to have in your kitchen, and a paring knife is one of them. You can just get a smaller one. This is a 5-inch one, and it covers a lot of ground. And I have pretty small hands, so I find using an 8-inch cutting knife can be sometimes challenging for me. So this is a really great knife to have. And you can see it's a great price point on there here, even though they're not on sale for Black Friday. All right. So we've given these guys a wash. I'm just going to cut off the little stem here and put them in. And the chopper is going to do the rest of the work. You can use frozen strawberries if you want to. One of the things that frozen strawberries do versus these is they make the mixture pink, which doesn't make it taste any different. It just looks different. So you might want to do it this way. All right, if anyone has access to the chat box, tell me if you found any good deals. I always end up buying like all my basics, you know, oil for my face and protein powder, I feel like is something I'm always buying. Yeah, the basic stuff, the stuff that goes over and over. Okay, thank you for your patience and staying with me. Okay. So the reason I was saying you don't need to be perfect in the kitchen, you don't need to be perfect with muffins, is because I'm saying that you need 3/4 of a cup of strawberries, but I did 3/4 of a cup last night and I thought, you know what, I would be happy if I had a little bit more. This is one of the recipes that I do with online cooking as a healthy sort of dessert. All right, now let's get to the good stuff. We want to go back to this machine. This is our hero item for today, right? And it's on sale. The brand was so kind to give me one so that I could try it out. And I said I would do a cooking show and I would show you guys all about it and how I would use it. You ready? Strawberries. Okay, it's on its post. It's inside. It needs a lid on top. Make sure you hear the little click so we don't make a mess. And then you have your blender and you just attach it right to the top. Then I'll hold it up to the video so you guys can see. It's already pretty blended. Okay, so you can make it as chopped up as you want. And we'll remove the motor. Take this off. Please be careful with the blade when you take it out. And I'm going to put the strawberries into the dry mixture. Now we're going to put everything back in here eventually, so you're welcome to give it a little mix if you wanted. But again, it's going to go right back in. Okay, let's get to the wet version. 1 egg. I'm going to use the beaker for this portion, so I'm just going to crack the egg and put that inside. I've got a teaspoon of vanilla. Now I didn't buy the vanilla off Amazon, so I don't have anything flagged here for you guys, but it's just a teaspoon that I'm going to put in. Sunflower oil. There's lots of ways you can do this. If you look online, you can see that there's sunflower oil, or you can use butter. I'm going to use 3, not big enough. Okay, so I'll use 6 of these. So I'm going to use a tablespoon. This is only half a tablespoon, so I'm going to put 6 in it because it's 3 total. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And the last thing is a half a cup of milk. Now, if you guys are here for the tips, please pay attention to this part as well. This milk is a protein milk, and so I think it's a really great option. It's by Silk. So if you can find it, I would recommend getting it. No matter which milk you decide to use, I'm not using a cow milk. You want to make sure that it doesn't have sweetened on it, because you're already going to be using coconut milk and strawberries, and there's sugar inside, right? So you don't want something to be overly sweet. And I'm going to use this Pyrex measuring cup. I'll bring it over to you guys so you can see. Right? And this is just a 2-cup one. You can buy them in singles, you can buy them in multiples, and this one's on sale also. I use it all the time. And we're just going to find half a cup. And add it into our mixture. So you can see I didn't beat the egg or do any of that. And we're going to do that together. So we need this mechanism here that goes on the top. It's going to screw in, and then we're going to use our whisk and clip it in. It's got a little star. You can see it move, and then we're going to put this inside, and we're going to give it a spin. And I realize now I also forgot one item in the dry, which we can of course add now, which is a little bit of salt. So I'm going to put 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. This what I have in my hand is 1/8, so I just did 2. And we will give it a small mix. All right, so with muffins, when you guys are making muffins, we add our wet to our dry, and we're gonna do it inside of our chopper. And remembering my own advice that we need to make sure we remember to put the blade in the machine prior to putting anything else in. Okay, if you are coming back and watching this video later, we are going to be cooking at a 400, and we're going to be cooking for about 20 minutes. We just pour the wet inside. And the lid goes back on. And we take our mechanism on top. This top, of course, doesn't go on, it just fits on the top. And again, you hear a click. I've got it on the highest one. I'm gonna take my time. Now you wouldn't wanna lift it up and do this yourself, but I'll do this for the purposes of the video. So that's kind of on the medium speed. Let's bring it to the top. I love it. And we're gonna unclick, take that off. And look, our muffin mixture is 100% ready. Mine did go pink, okay? They were very juicy strawberries. This muffin container is also silicone, so you don't need to put the cups inside of it, which I think is very helpful. I will show it to you on here in case you wanted to purchase one of these for yourself. Okay, oh, this has got a Black Friday sale in it too. So this is your muffin container, and I like to use Pam. Of course, you can just buy this anywhere, including on Amazon, and I'm just gonna spray 4 because I know the mixture only makes 4. You could use this mini muffins. If you do mini muffins, just cook it for less time. And I'm gonna go ahead and just pour, well, you guys can see me here, pour it in. I would go sort of 3/4 of the way, see how full they get. And you can always go back and top them up. So they're sweet without being too sweet. I'm giving my spatula a little rinse to encourage the rest of it to come out. Looks very well blended. That was our goal. And you can just peel it right out. When I was using this, I thought to myself, oh, that'd be great for taking some of the work out of your cooking, right? You can chop up your vegetables, things for soup, just take some of the prep work out. That's challenging. So thank you, LINKchef, for finding me, for giving me the chance to share your product. If you guys are watching the video, don't leave yet. We're still going to do the best part, the extra sweet part. Okay, you guys, so there you go. Sometimes what people do when they're baking things like this is you can also take a tiny little bit of salt and sprinkle it on the top. Just be very sparing. And I'll pop them in the oven, and we're going to set the timer for exactly 20 minutes. All right, if you saw this video and maybe you're going back and you're watching it a second time and you think, oh, I don't know if my oven is like hers, just always err on the side of caution. So you are just going to maybe put it in for 15 minutes and then go back and check it. If you don't know this trick already, you can get some toothpicks and you stick the toothpick in the muffin. And if no cake or muffin sticks to the toothpick when it comes out, it's ready if you can't tell from the outside. oftentimes, of course, you can tell. These muffin containers are amazing because it just falls right out and you don't have to deal with those paper covers, which I love. Okay, I'm gonna give the beaker a tiny rinse. I'm excited to show you guys this part. And of course, I appreciate it's live. There's nothing I could do to prep for this, but hopefully I'm gonna share a fabulous secret with you and you're gonna love it. If you're one of those people who likes Cool Whip or you like some kind of regular whipped cream, of course, do what makes you happy. What I am showing you right now is a gluten-free, more healthy version, let's call it, okay? So it does still, of course, have calories in it. Coconut milk does have some sugar in it. And we're gonna add a little bit of maple syrup to it as well. I told you guys I'm from Canada. That's one of a really big and popular product here. So it makes sense for me to use it. All right. There's one more Amazon product here I thought I'd draw your attention to, which is this one. So this is a can opener. A lot of people a lot of people have can openers. This is different than anything I've ever had before. Mine kept breaking on me. So usually can openers that I've had in the past go on the side and then you twist them. What this one does is it goes on the top, which makes it smarter in terms of not cutting your hands. Now, I don't want to say it's not sharp because that's not true. And we're just going to open this up. All right. Now, for anybody who's just newly joining, and thank you so much for joining, I'm Jen. I'm the Mindful Shopper. I'd love for you guys to follow my page. I also do things on clothing. So if you like what I'm wearing, I'm going to be doing more stuff for Black Friday sales, but mostly I am just a woman who's trying to age gracefully. I own a wellness company and I care about all of that kind of stuff. All right, now let's see, what's the best way for us to do this together? If you buy a can of coconut milk and you put it in the fridge, it's gonna separate the more dense part of the milk from the water that's at the bottom. So it's very cold right now, not in the freezer, and I am going to attempt to take out just the really good part here. It already kind of looks like whipped cream. So we'll take it out. Now the recipe only calls for us to use about half of it, and I think that that's fine. If you're like me and you don't want to waste anything, you can grab a mason jar that shuts really well, and you can just put the rest of the coconut milk and water inside and just put it in a stir fry or something like that, right? So like a Thai style stir fry so that you don't waste it. So that's what we're looking at right now. It already looks a lot like whipped cream, doesn't it? But we'll show you how to use one more part of the LINKchef blender. It says it's magnetic. It doesn't lie. You won't lose them in your drawer. Okay, we're going to add a couple more things. We're going to add a teaspoon of maple syrup. If you've never had maple syrup before, it's one of the most delicious things on the planet. Oh, I don't have it open yet. It is 100% sugar, so I've been saying the whole time everything's sugar-free, but this does add a little bit of flavor, and of course it does have sugar, but it's just a tiny amount, and it's for all those muffins, so I think we're okay. But the muffins themselves are sugar-free because of that swerve that we used, right? Okay. And last thing, and we're going to use, again, a teaspoon of the vanilla extract. It's such a strong flavor, vanilla extract, you don't even have to use that much. And then we're going to place this here on the top. And what you would use to froth milk, you can just clip that on. And we're going to give this a spin. So all of the things with the LINKchef, this immersion blender, nothing is hard to use, okay? So I love YouTube videos and trying to figure out how to use all that stuff. So if you buy something and you're challenged on how to use your recipe, just pop on. But I don't even really think that you need to take lessons to do these sort of things. I opened up the box, I didn't even read the manual on how to put it together. It was so simple. And there's no reason that you can't play around to figure out how it works. The only thing I was going to say is that if you are frothing milk, you might have seen somebody do it at like a barista at a coffee shop, or maybe you've done it at home before, maybe you've made mayonnaise before. It's a motion of an up-down to emulsify. All right, now if you let it sit, it will become a slightly different consistency and you can put it back into the fridge. But let's show you guys the real way that it looks. All right, if you are a late joiner and you wanted to see these muffins, this is an earlier batch that I did. This is the strawberry muffin. This is the texture of it. It is a jumbo sized muffin. Let's rip it open so that you can see. I mean, that's gluten-free. It's pretty impressive, no? Okay, and then you can put it over here. Now I'll show you the, let's say, the fun way to do it, and then the dressier way to do it. I love to bring things over to people's homes and as gifts. So if you were going to do something beautiful and bring it to someone's house, maybe you put just a dollop of whipped cream like that. Maybe you feel like you want more. And then you take a little strawberry that still has its stem on it and you stick it in. And imagine you had a whole plate of those. Isn't that so nice? So that's option one. And then of course, if you just felt like you wanted to eat something really yummy, you can just put the cream inside and then have some yourself. Oh wow, it's so good. Okay guys, so that's it for me. I'm gonna say thanks again to LINKchef. I love your blender. I know I'll use it a ton. It was a lot of fun for me to come on Amazon and give you guys a live cooking class. I hope that you found a few tricks in there, and also you're gonna purchase some things from Black Friday. And even if you don't catch this video during the Black Friday time slot, everything we talked about is 100% affordable, and they're all things you'll use in your kitchen just all the time. All right, have a beautiful day. My name's Jen. I am going to be doing some more Amazon lives over the next couple of days, things around fashion, cheap and cheerful fashion, and lots of things around sleepwear and cozy stuff. So if you like my vibe and you want to learn more from me, I'd love to have you. See ya. Have a beautiful day.